I got dingers today, baby. Dingers for this baseball show, Swing for the Fences. Look at that. Look at that. How did you get that, JT? How'd you get that shirt?
It's RotoWear, baby. You got to have some. You got to have some. Got to support the DFS community. Got to get some RotoWear.
I got one RotoWear shirt, and I wear it a lot. Title, what's up, buddy? You got Coors Field in the background. Is that an homage to me, or you just had nothing else to put back there?
Oh, it's Coors Day. You guys know me. I'm always playing Coors. And we got mispriced Coors even better with the Angels. So sign me up, baby. I'm excited.
All right, I'll play baseball cash tonight. I looked at that too. My goodness.
It's bad.
It's tough for a couple of those Rockies pitchers to pitch at Coors, and one of those guys is going tonight. We'll get to that, gentleman. Let's get right into this. 125 likes. One of you is going to get some Run Pure Sports gear. Hit the like button. That'd be very nice. Plus, this is a free show still, right? Am I correct here? I don't know. Here, sign up. $65 a month, lifetime price, $20 a week. You also get the combo, Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets for $100. The Showdown site is live, so you get the DFS package for $65. You get the Showdowns too. Let's do this, boys. We'll start at pitching. There's some top shelf option, man. 11K on DK. We got Bieber. We got Giolito right below him at 10.5. I don't know if there's anybody else you guys are considering, but JT, let's start with you, dude. How you got to fit these guys in? Both of them? One of them? Neither of them?
No. So I think at the top there with Bieber, this is the third time he's facing Minnesota. That does not concern me so much as the weather situation. It looks like they're at least going to try as of right now and get that game in. But the information I'm looking at suggests it's going to be a light rain all night. And so when I think about that and I think about paying $11K for a pitcher, definitely the top pitcher on the slate talent-wise, but he's going to have to manage wet conditions all night long. It's going to be, difficult to control the baseball. It's going to be difficult to locate it where he wants to. With NFL coming up, right? If you see wetness, what are you doing? You're looking at the defense on that side, right? So I'm not thinking that I'm going to be very high on Bieber tonight. I think, though, that Giolito is in a spot against the Tigers at home that is just too good. I mean, if you look at the heat map, if you want to call it, it's more of a cool map on the Detroit players against right-handed pitching. Giolito should absolutely dominate this team tonight. So at the top there, it'd be, for me, Giolito 1. And then I actually like Luis Castillo a little bit tonight. He's playing a St. Louis team that has 25% strikeout rate against righties. They played a doubleheader and scored a bunch of runs yesterday against Detroit. So for me, I think I'm going to be over Bieber by playing Giolito and playing Castillo, who, Castillo is going to be lower owned. Giolito is going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate.
As well he should be, right? I mean, you had that up. Title. I know you're going two pitchers, dude. Two big-time pitchers. Come on, throw it out.
Yep. Yeah, there's enough value on the slate for hitters. Right now, weather, I'm not too concerned in Minnesota. I think it doesn't rain most of the time, and if it does, it looks like it'll be a little light and be able to be played through. Bad hitting weather, too. The ball's not going to carry as well. Bieber's a complete stud. I've played him almost every game, or played him all the time. So Giolito, Bieber on Draftkings, I want to get both of them, have enough value at bats. So that's my plan as of now. And then on FanDuel, on one pitcher sites, Bieber is a lot more expensive than Giolito. You get a $800 discount, which in a better matchup for Giolito. So I'm leaning Giolito over there. Woodruff is also in consideration on FanDuel as well because he's priced down. He's $7,600 on FanDuel compared to $10,800 for Giolito, which is a major gap, and it feels too much, but I still am planning on taking, as of right now, the safety in Giolito. We have enough value bats. The Brewers are cheap. We have some cheap Angels up top with Walsh. So, I'm looking to pay up at pitching today with both Bieber and Giolito on DraftKings and then Giolito on FanDuel.
All right, everybody in the chat wants a little Kikuchi action. They love the Kikuchi. But my favorite guy here.
Big T likes Kikuchi too.
You don't like Kikuchi? Neither one of you guys like the Kikuchi tonight, huh?
I'm just paying up. I'll take my safety. A little too much risk for me.
JT, Kikuchi.
No. All the pitchers that we're skating this week have one thing in common, and it's something that I've come to rely on as the most predictive indicator of future pitching success in their next matchup, and that's their batted ball in play average against over their last 2 starts. Kikuchi, so let me just go run through the pitchers this week where that has been a pretty significant indicator.
Okay.
Clayton Kershaw, Andrew Heaney, Dustin May, and Madison Bumgarner last night. Bumgarner, you're probably not going to play anyway, right? But these are pitchers that the industry's in on. Andrew Heaney was 50-some% owned. Kershaw was a little bit lower owned. And the other thing in common is they all went under 10 points. Look, Kikuchi is a guy who's going to dominate really bad teams, which the last team he pitched against, Texas, absolutely is that. He now goes on the road to Arizona where the roof is open. And I think people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to play Kikuchi. He's still so cheap. And I think he's going to get absolutely smashed tonight.
I cashed in a tournament last night with 99 points.
Yep.
Did you see how bad all the chalk pitchers like Paddock?
That's
was
what
amazing.
happens. Paddock got hurt. May got hurt. Gray got knocked around. I mean, pitching. I think Drew Smiley, the reliever, I think was the highest.
Yeah.
He scored the most points.
Mike Kickham was a guy who was making his 3rd start since 2014, and he ended up being the highest scoring starting pitcher. But I'll tell you what, Sonny Gray had to pitch in some pretty poor weather last night as well. It's another thing that I think about when I think about Bieber. The other thing about Bieber and tourneys is Zach's right. You could easily on this slate, the way pricing is, even if you wanted to play cores, get Bieber and Giolito together. I think that's going to be insanely popular in tournaments. And that's another reason to get off of one of those two. And for me, it's going to be Bieber, and go down to a Castillo, maybe go down to a Bubik, who's facing a Pirates team that just doesn't do a whole lot. But no Kikuchi for me.
What are your thoughts on Woodruff, JT?
You know, he's just hasn't been very good against this Cubs team. They've got a bunch of lefties in that lineup, and that's the side of the matchup that he struggles with. You know, his price is okay, even on DraftKings. I think it's 8.5. He just hasn't been, except for that like one game against Pittsburgh, the first game I think he pitched, just hasn't been that guy that's going to go 7-7 and limit the damage. It's not that he's not striking guys out. He is. He's still got one of the, I think, 3rd or 4th highest strikeout rate on the slate. He's just giving up hits and runs along with those strikeouts. Although I'll tell you what, he should get a win tonight. I think John Lester, like Madison Bumgarner, is on his goodbye tour this year.
All right, 2 things I want to tell you. First of all, shout out to Andrew Shetter, who tells us in our chat that his wife is in labor and he's a degenerate and he's listening and watching this. Dude, seriously, you need stop it.
Andrew, I just got to tell you, I got a Coors Light Small Boy right here. Coors Light Small Boy in honor of you.
Oh, yeah. Pour one out for his homies, too.
Congrats.
So congrats on that. Congrats on your kid, Andrew. Just know that your wife's never going to forget this.
She's not going to
do this forever. You can win $1 million tonight, and it still won't make it up. Your marriage will be ruined. So take it from a guy right here that knows. Do not do this. I fell asleep while my wife was in labor. God, did she get pissed off at me. Now you're watching video about DFS.
What happens in YouTube stays in YouTube. Don't even worry about it. Working.
Mrs. Shetter, I apologize for you. Your husband is got some issues. Hit the like button. We're at 44. We need 125, and everything's going to be good. Boys, you know what? This is for title. This is for title right here. I want to start with this game. The Coors game. Herman Marquez, okay? This is old school stats, but 7.03 ERA at home, 2.64 on the road. I mean, he's been blasted in his last 2 home starts, was decent in his first one. And then Griffin Canning, man, he had his best start of his career a couple of times ago. And then he gave up 4 runs in 4 innings against the Astros. Title, this is all you, buddy. Where are we targeting this game? I'll go to JT when I want to talk about real games, but what are you doing if you're focusing on this, just ping pong, whatever, just go for it.
So, I mean, I want to stack it up every way possible, but I am paying up for pitchers, so I'm not going to be able to full game stack it. I actually like the Rocky side more today, but on DraftKings, you're just forced to play the Angels because they're mispriced completely. So we got big boy Walsh, Jared Walsh in the 2-hole. Oh, JT, I called last week. I asked him for a min price play. He gave me a Jared Walsh who ended up hitting a bomb, and I didn't even know about the guy. I looked him up. He had 36 homers last year in the minors. Absolutely been raking. So that's JT's guy, and now that's my guy. He did well for me. So he's a lock on both sites. He's 2.5K on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's also 2.5K. Plug him in, just play him. So we got Simmons back. Andrelton Simmons back in the one hole. He's too cheap as well, 3.9K on DraftKings, and he's 3.1K on FanDuel. For a leadoff hitter in Coors, I don't care who you are. I'm just plugging him in and playing him. I want to do everything I can to get Mike Trout, best player in baseball, best park, has a 9th inning AB, so I'm trying to jam him in as many lineups as possible. Justin Upton on DraftKings is also too cheap, 2.9K in the 5-hole, way too cheap. Ohtani's batting 6, so I don't love him as much. I liked him more earlier, but I'm going to stick to Walsh, Simmons, Trout, and Upton as my main guys. And then for the Rockies side, they all just feel a little too expensive with paying up for Bieber and Giolito. Tapia remains the most affordable, especially on FanDuel. He's 3.2K. But other than that, I mean, if I can get Arenado, if I can get Story, I'm going to do it. But it's the Angels' priority just due to pricing for me today.
Do you even want to talk about this, JT, or do you just want to move on? Do you have any exposure in this game?
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. I hate it when the sites do this because not only are the Angels too cheap, but German Marquez is as cheap as he's been all year as well. And if you follow this game and you expect the pitchers to do the same thing every game, you're going to be disappointed. So Marquez hasn't been good. He hasn't been good at home. I'm almost tempted to put Marquez in my MMEs just because there's going to be 25% of the industry on the Angels. And look, you said it at the top here. I was looking at this today too. It's cool in Denver tonight. You know, there are some stats about weather and games up there. Looks like, you know, you should expect a little bit less runs in that game. That's not to say the Angels aren't a good play. But if 25% of the industry is on them, and I'm looking at a price on a pitcher that's got, honestly, one of the 5 best xFIPs on the slate, I'm going to take a look at that in MME. I don't know if I'm going to do that in my higher dollar stuff, but there's a couple of other games that I think have just as good hitting environments that we're going to get to. But yeah, I mean, it's Coors, and in this season, it feels like it's on the slate half of every week.
Yeah, because it is. They're playing 2 games a day. It's like you get a whole road, you get a homestand in a week, you play 15 games. It's kind of cool.
For me, it's felt like a whole month until I've had Coors on the slate. I mean, I hope I get two straight weeks of just printing with Coors.
So tonight I'm playing Walsh, Simmons, Trout, Upton, and winning money.
Oh yeah, if you can get all of them, you'll be getting
with Bieber and Giolito on DK.
Yep.
Well, what the hell else am I putting in there? Am I going over football and putting Logan Thomas in there for 2.8? Hopefully he gets more PPR points and some scrub at 3K. What am I doing?
You punt catcher. I mean, we'll be in Discord. I can't give away all the freebies.
Yeah, it's true. Don't do it. Don't give away the freebies. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. You know what? We did the pitchers. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. So you got the Bubik going against the Pirates. Ugh, nobody's gonna be on that, right? And then for the Pirates, they're running out Steven Brault, the left-hander. So you look at some of the bats here, and then Brault's not been good. I mean, he's gotten you some strikeouts, but the dude has been completely hittable. I'll get his advanced numbers up there, but I'm just looking at some players here. Like, how about a little Michael Franco? What about a little Whit Merrifield tonight? I can't imagine you're playing this at cash. JT, anything on Whit Merrifield and the rest of this Royals offense?
This game isn't exactly exciting to me. The Pittsburgh bullpen, which was really bad at the beginning of the year, has been a little better. Brault's probably going to go, I don't know, because this is one of the teams where they do that piggyback situation sometimes where they throw a guy 3 innings and bring in a guy for 3. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. I'm not interested in Brault. I'm not interested in the Pirates' bats, really. I will say Adalberto Mondesi in the 2-hole finally. Back for Kansas City. He's come to life. He hit a home run the other night. He can steal a bunch of bases. The Pirates will let you run on them. He's 2.8 on DraftKings in the 2-hole. There's a case to be made, even for a McBroom or an Oliveras down here, a little mini stack, if you need it. The thing is, if you're not playing Giolito, Bieber, and Coors, you don't need any money. You're going to be leaving thousands of dollars on the table here. So the Royals aren't going to be owned. So if there's a stack, and there are a couple of stacks that I like later, where I'm going to have to pay between 4 and 5 for that 4 or 5 man, I don't mind going a little 3-man here to complete it with the Royals.
Brault, let me just get you those numbers. 507 xFIP, 11% K-Walk. Are you kidding me? The thing that concerns me a little bit about the Royal side is just that he's an extreme ground ball pitcher. We're talking close to 50% ground ball pitcher, but, Brault, on the other hand, you look at it, it's a juicy matchup. You're not doing anything here for cash, are you? Can you punt the position?
Yeah, you can because I'm wanting all these big guys. JT hit it pretty much right on the head. Mondesi back in the 2-hole at 2.8K he was a 5K player last year. Has power, can swipe bags. I like that play a lot if you need them. And then McBroom in the 6-hole, min price at 2K. He can. I don't think Brault's good. So if I need it to fit in everything else, I'm fine going Kansas City. Then I just want to. I see Uncle T in the chat. He had the playbook today. I already took a glance at it and looks good. So everyone, that's the first thing I do. If JT's doing it or if he's doing it, I'm always looking at the playbook. It's always broken down really well. Have the pitchers, the stacks, the players you like, and then a slate breakdown. So make sure to check that out in the core plays that we have up on the site.
Yep. And Uncle T also. What up, Uncle T? You guys have a little rivalry there. Did you even know that? Because he's so old, you're so young. He's the oldest, and you're like the youngest, and he doesn't like you at all. He's like, I can't stand that title. And then the other old guy, G. Rizm, was like, he doesn't like Rubio. There's a lot going on between these two sides. I hope you guys can come to an agreement because I don't like the tension.
Hey, winners! We just need winners. That's all. That'll solve everything.
Yeah, I think it will. All right, what's up, JT? You seem like you want to say something. Are you okay?
Yeah. I just took another glance at this Kansas City lineup, and I saw that our old friend Salvador Perez is back today.
Albie!
We love Salvador Perez against left-handed pitching, don't we, Title? That's a
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, no, I like that call. That could be a little dong of the day.
Get a little more excited.
Look at you. I know. I saw it in you, man. You were doing this. Drink some Coors for me. Drink some Coors. Come on, let's celebrate, Sal.
I gotta savor it. It's a small.
This is a sip. Thank you. Gosh, this is what I'm talking about here. This is Run Pure Sports. We'll take a beer, we'll shove it, and we'll win you some money.
This is his Grayson Griner for the day.
Salvador Perez. He's a little bit too expensive for the Grayson treatment, but yeah,
that's true.
I think he's going to pop one out. Wind's blowing out 3 miles an hour too. What a tasty matchup.
I like it.
Title's saying in the Uncle T, I should say, is saying that he likes you. Trust me, dude. I worked with him the other night. It was just vitriol.
First thing I learned since meeting Holden: don't trust a word he ever says.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button, everybody. I'm not a liar. I'm just telling the truth.
Just a
you
fibber.
don't want to admit it. Yeah. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's keep building lineups here. Let's keep talking about this. Oakland tonight. This is an interesting one because I really, 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 really love the Oakland offense. Now they're going to go with Garcia just to start. He'll throw an inning if he gets lucky. I'm looking at these lefties in the lineup. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful for Oakland. And then on the Texas side, Mike Fiers actually has had a couple of good starts this year. JT, I want to start with you. This seems like an interesting spot for a GPP, and I wonder if you're buying in here.
It's one of my favorite spots on the night for a couple of reasons. So the roof is open. The roof is open in Texas for the second time this year. The first time they opened the roof, I think the teams combined for somewhere in the neighborhood of more than a dozen runs. And Texas got walloped because they don't really have a good offense. And there's some pieces in this lineup that you could say, okay, I'm going to play in a tournament. But on the Oakland side, man, they're going to start this rookie for the second time this year. That's nice. That's sweet. He gets another opportunity to get on a major league hill. And then they're going to play one of my favorite players to pick against, especially tonight, in Jordan Lyles. Of the 3 pitchers that have the lowest batted ball in play over their last 2 starts, I talked about Kikuchi. Jordan Lyles is number 2 behind Kikuchi. So this Oakland lineup may be my number one lineup tonight for tournaments.
Yeah, on the bet side, I'm all with you, man. All with you. I love the Oakland offense tonight. It's just really sexy. It's fun. Also, you got a kid named Mlb the Machine. He's hitting at the bottom of the lineup tonight. Nobody's going to be on him. Nobody's going to be on the Machine. He's really not that good either. He had 25 home runs in his whole minor league career, so that's nice. Spanning back to 2015. Don't do it. Don't get cute and start a guy that sounds like he's the Machine. Don't do it.
It's just tough because at his price point, at a position where you want a little bit more certainty, I mean, I could get Adalberto Mondesi for 400 more on DraftKings. He's a third baseman. There's a lot of third basemen that I like here on this slate tonight. So, yeah, I would stick to the top and, Sean Murphy at the bottom. I always like Sean Murphy. So.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Title, you're not touching this game. Come on. You got to have a one-off from the A's side.
I like the A's side in tournaments. The two that I'll talk about that are in consideration for cash is Laureano and Simeon. Laureano normally, or the main one, because he's 3.8K. And I like Oakland, but yeah, guys like Matt Olson, who I absolutely love, and La Stella and all that. I'm just prioritizing Coors over them today, so I can't get them in cash. But great tournament play in an awesome spot, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them be the number one scoring team on the slate.
All right. Very good. I like it. I love this Oakland side tonight. Hopefully it works out. There's just certain pitchers you target, right, guys? And this is one of them. Play the guys that are facing the worst pitchers, because all these guys are talented. Some guys are more talented than others, the hitters too. But you're going up against a guy that does not belong in the majors, or at least in a rotation, maybe a long reliever. He's one of those guys.
Always an easy game when you say it like that.
Listen, Mike Myers has not been good either. It's tough to trust Texas. I mean, it's disgusting. We trusted them this week one night, if I remember, and I think they actually had a good game
against Tehran.
Are we
No, I'm not. I don't like. I'd rather pick on Tehran than I would Fires, especially with Gallo and stuff. So I'm not playing much Texas.
No, I will not have Texas either. I just wanted to bring them up, and that was it. Just waste some time. Cleveland visiting Minnesota. So we got the Beebs on one side, and then we got Kenta Maeda on the other side. You're not going with Beebs, JT, because what? The weather tonight? Was that the big one?
Yeah, I mean, look, subject to change, but right now, what I'm looking at is there's a chance of rain throughout this whole game, right? So for me, there's enough quality pitching on this slate that lowers my expectations for him enough to say I'd rather go with these other pitchers. If that changes significantly, sure. But I don't know. This game overall, from both the pitching and the offensive side, with the weather and the environment, I just don't love it.
Okay. Now, some guys like LOL, Fire Money's always like, LOL, you like the worst pieces. I'm just going out of the Big T playbook. Start the two expensive pitchers and find some crappy hitters that are cheap that'll end up having home runs. I mean, it's as simple as that. We all should be winning millions of dollars here. Come on, guys, get it together. It's really simple. Play the two high-priced pitchers and then just play whoever these guys are saying. Mike Trout, discounted tonight at Coors, right? He's in a discount. Is he a discounted?
Mike Trout?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. He could be 2K higher.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. What a deal. Walsh, Simmons, are you kidding me? Upton? How do you not play Justin Upton? I mean, what an amazing play. I'm not holding my breath at all sticking him out there. All right, I'm being a smart ass again.
I know. That's why I stopped responding.
Anything, Title?
No.
All right, move on. Fine, we'll move along.
And I'll people have been asking about NBA in the chat. I'll give a couple minute breakdown at the end of MLB about NBA that locks at 5:30.
Good. We'll do that. We got time, right? What is it?
We'll have time.
Okay, very good. Well, 5:30 your time, because isn't it like 5:30 Eastern time?
6:30 right? Eastern, sorry.
Okay. All right, so Giolito, we're not bothering with the Tigers, are we? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'm not sure, JT. We get to attack a Tigers rookie tonight with what is potentially the best offense in baseball. We're going after Mr. Mize with 5.27 xFIP. Mr. Mize gets absolutely destroyed by left-handers. That's the only problem here. Like, There might be, I'm looking at the lineup, Mazzara and Yolmer Sanchez. Hey, maybe we'll get a little cute at the bottom of the White Sox lineup tonight, JT. You want to do that?
No, not really. There's a couple of guys here that I like as maybe a one-off. East Robert, maybe Eloy in the 2-hole. But other than that, this team's so expensive right now at this point. I understand that the Tiger bullpen has been really, really bad. The worst in the game over the last couple of weeks, giving up more than 2 home runs per 9. It just, wind blowing in, kind of cool out there. I just think there's better offensive spots than paying, $30,000 to stack the White Sox.
Okay, very good. Title?
No, their prices just, I want lefties if I do it. Their prices are just too high for me. I'm not going to have anything in this game.
All right. This is a really easy show. We're just cruising here. Next game, Philadelphia and Miami. You got David Hale going out there, the old Yankee. You got Costanza going from the left side. See, this is an interesting game, JT. Now, no one's on the Marlins again, right? Should they be on the Marlins or just fade the Marlins? Should they be on the Phillies or fade the Phillies? I like the Phillies.
I don't know if anyone's looking at this game just because it's a 7-inning doubleheader. I don't know if it's on any of the slates, actually.
It's not on the slate?
I don't know.
Through it. Yeah, if it's a 7-inning game, it's not on the slate. Yep. Okay, very good. My bad. I apologize. I'm an awful host. We'll get to the Cubs in Milwaukee. That's definitely on the slate tonight. Oh, reminder, this slate locks at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So this is not your normal 7 o'clock. We've had 6 o'clock locks. We've had 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It's late. It's a little later tonight. So you got some time to work through your process. Let's do, our guy Title, JT, asked you about Woodruff. So Woodruff going up against the Cubs tonight. And then on the other side, the Cubbies throwing out John Lester. I always like attacking John Lester. John Lester, by the way, this is not his swan song. He's a left-handed pitcher. He'll be in the league for the next 5-6 years. It doesn't. If you can throw with your left arm, he'll be in there. Anyways, we going after him tonight?
Yeah, you see Tommy Malone that came back, and I think he's been on 2 or 3 teams this year, despite the fact that he can't break a pane of glass with his fastball. So there's always a shot. But these are spots to attack Lester, not spots to play him. A lot of people are going to play Castanura. Castanura is much, much better against right-handed pitching. And if I'm going to play this lineup, I'm going to start with Avisail, who's mispriced in the leadoff spot on Draftkings. Jerko, it makes you sick to play him, but he double-dogged the other day against the lefty against Detroit. Ryan Braun is 3-5 on this slate. Yelich is a guy who will hit lefties or righties. And then at the bottom, they've got 2 guys that just have started off extremely hot against left-handed pitching, and Tyrone Taylor, who hit 2 home runs the other day as well against the lefty when they beat up on the Tigers 19-0. And then Jacob Nottingham. These guys are both 2-6 on DraftKings. Again, you're not going to need that money, so just be prepared. This is a night where I think the winning lineup may actually end up leaving some money on the table, maybe even a significant amount tonight. So I like this Milwaukee lineup. On the flip side, like I said, the Cubs haven't been a great matchup for Woodruff. There's now 5 lefties in this lineup. Woodruff is due for a bounce back game, so I would be on the fence here and say, yeah, you could go Woodruff at his price because I don't expect him to kill you. But you could also look at a guy like Schwarber or Ian Happ leading off as a one-off, although their prices have come up a bit since a couple of weeks ago when they were a little bit more easy to fit.
Mr. Titletown, give me a little breakdown here. Some one-offs, anything?
I love me myself some Brew Crew today, especially on especially on FanDuel. They're free. My favorite tournament play on the slate is Christian Yelich, lefty with Coors. He's not going to be. Why would you play him over Mike Trout for a little more? I'm not saying he's a better play, but it's baseball. Lester's not good. Lefty. Christian Yelich has shown how good he is. I wouldn't be surprised to see him double dong and be in the optimal. So that's my favorite GPP play. Garcia leading off 2.7K on DraftKings. Just play him. Ryan Braun 3.5K is too cheap. Crushes lefties. And I agree with Jerko 3.9K. It doesn't feel like a great roster, but he's done well against left-handed pitching too in the 4-hole. I think he has a lot of runners on base that he can drive in. One guy I'm going to mention, Tyron Taylor. This is more of a GPP play. He has got called up not too long ago. Absolutely smashed the ball against the Tigers when they put up 19 runs and looked really good. Wasn't on the main slate. He's down in the 8 hole, but he's very cheap at 2.6K. And I don't mind that. Tournaments, especially if I'm playing the Brewers, I'm playing Taylor just because it's so I can get 5 Brewers and he's cheap and he's a good hitter. So I wanted to bring that one up on DraftKings for some salary relief. Keston Hiura on FanDuel is a lot more in play because second base is just awful. So I don't mind going up to him at 3.7K if you have the money, but he's not a play on DraftKings. And that's I don't have any other interest in the Cubs.
All right, let's go to a game that I'm actually looking forward to a little bit. Cincinnati at St. Louis. So Adam Wainwright is old, but he really has not been bad this year. He's not striking guys out. He's got a 19% K rate, but the xFIP is sitting a little over 4. That's not bad. You'd like to see a couple more ground balls at him. The only issue is there are some, you know what I'm noticing, guys? Every pitcher gets hit hard with exit velocity, I feel like. I feel like we need to go into fly ball exit velocity because line drive exit velocity, that's fine. That might get you a single, might even get you a double. But for me, the exit velocity thing is jacked up on all these pitchers because we haven't broken it down to where I think it needs to break down. Do you guys use exit velocity when you're doing this? How do you choose that? How do you use it if you do, JT?
Yeah, I think it's something to look at. I think you're right. You have to kind of determine what is important to you in terms of, and I look at a percentage, right? I look at the percentage of hard contact. So you got to think about it. All these guys, or most of these guys, are throwing much, much harder, right? So the average velocity is up. The average exit velocity is up. They're looking at statistics and metrics and analytics to determine how to best attack a fastball to get it to go, out at a high velocity. So what I look at is a percentage. Coincidentally, tonight, the two guys with the highest hard contact percentage of their pitchers in Coors. So, you look at that and you say, oh, okay, this is, that's concerning, but it's also not a static metric from start to start that changes. And so it can be helpful to take a look at. But I think with Wainwright, the thing that I mentioned earlier, batted ball in play average of under 200 for his last couple of starts tells me he's getting a little bit lucky. The problem here is the Reds just put out one of the worst imaginable lineups that they could put out. This is like the opposite of good analytics, right? You've got a guy who has an ISO under 100 in the leadoff hole. He's also got a low WOBA. He just hasn't been good. And then they go righty-lefty throughout the left of the lineup, which is good when you get into the bullpen. But on the Cincy side, it's, a guy like Goodwin, maybe even a guy like Galvis. Although if I'm going to play a 2-8 shortstop, I'm probably going to play Mondesi in the 2-hole as opposed to Galvis in the 7-hole in a better matchup. But I do think the Reds will score runs. And like I said earlier, I like Luis Castillo. He hasn't been the same Luis Castillo this year. His price has come down just a little bit. And this Cardinals team played 2 games yesterday, put up a lot of runs in those 2 games. And with a 25% strikeout percentage against righties, I'm willing to take a shot at the lower ownership of Castillo and hope I catch a ceiling game.
A title on that Red side, and yeah, it doesn't look – it's too bad Aristides Aquino is not hitting home runs at the pace that he did last year. But I'm just going to call a couple guys out to you. Castellanos – he checks the boxes. The ISO's over 300. He's got a nice fly ball rate. And the guy at the bottom, if you really want to save money at catcher, because you like punt and catcher, what about Kurt Casale, man? Put a little Kurt Casale in there tonight if you want to just punt something. Tell me about the Reds offense and the Cardinals offense.
Yeah, I just don't like either of these offenses in general. Yeah. Pretty low implied total. So the only guy that I'll throw out there is Shogo, batting in the leadoff spot at 2.1K if you need it. He's free, and you can take zeros in baseball, and he's batting leadoff, so you expect 4 at bats. So it's the only reason I bring him up.
Hey, we already went over the Coors game, but real quick, if people are just joining us, first of all, hit the like button. I need you to get to 125. I want to give one of you some Run Pure sports gear. It's awesome. It's comfy, cozy, too. But real quick, your plays from that game one more time with Colorado and the Angels.
Simmons, Walsh, Trout, Upton, and then that's pretty much it because of value. If you can fit in Story or Arenado, Tapia is a little too cheap on FanDuel too, but it's mainly the Walsh, Trout, Upton, and Simmons.
You're fading this game for the most part, JT. Any one-offs? Again, I'll ask you.
I'm not going to do a complete fade because I'm running 150, and when I run the 150, this is not amongst games that I would say fade, just because it's got the highest percentage likelihood of being the highest scoring game on the slate, right? I think the Angels are going to be a little bit higher owned than the Rockies. Ryan McMahon is the guy that sticks out to me that I think will be a little bit less owned in the 7-hole over there. But I want to play these other games. I like these other games just a little bit more. So I'll be lower owned on Colorado, and I'll be fine with it if it doesn't go my way.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, if you have a conviction, you're fading cores most of the time in tournaments. What is it? Half the time it's going to pay off, right? I mean,
seems like more than that this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This year it's been really good to me, but it's been bad plenty of other times last year. I would say probably about half. But yeah, it's baseball. At the end of the day, Mike Trout could still go 0 for 4 today, have no points, and you wouldn't be shocked. So, it's because you succeed 1/3 of the time you're a Hall of Fame player, whereas basketball, you're playing Giannis or LeBron, you're getting minimum 50 or whatever. So that's why projections don't mean as much in baseball. It's more the correlation with stacking and stuff.
All right, let's get to this Giants Padres game. For those of you that have not seen a lot of our videos here, I feel like most of us are on the Giants most nights. But is tonight a night to do that? Do we want to target Garrett Richards? On the other side of things, Johnny Cueto can still go out and neutralize an offense, a good offense. But now we're talking about the Padres. This isn't just any old offense we're talking about. Title, I'm going to start with you here in this game because I wonder if you'll have any shares of the Padres in this one.
Yeah, there's other spots that I like more, and my favorite hitters are priced up enough where I'm not going to be landing on them, so I'm not going to have too much.
JT.
It's not a game. I looked at the Giants earlier just because Garrett Richards pitched a really good game last time out, a little bit better than he normally pitches. He's given up a lot of hard contact. It's just, for some reason, this game's not sticking out to me. I will say the Padres are going to be lower owned than they should. Mitch Moreland is still a little bit too cheap. Even Cronenworth now batting 5th, but I think there are other spots that I'm going to end up on just a little bit more than this game.
All right, and we got our last game to get to, the latest game of the night. Seattle and Arizona is what we're looking at here. The Mariners, this to me, the Mariners piss me off because once in a while they're just throw up a 9 spot, right? And they'll just go absolutely bananas. Tonight, though, they got the guy that was supposed to be the second coming in Miami is Caleb Smith. So big left-handers out there. On the other side of things for Arizona tonight, they're going to have to face Kikuchi. So some of you guys love Kikuchi. You think that Kikuchi is the amazing guy. Where are we sitting in this game, JT? Anything?
Yeah, this is maybe outside of Coors, right? I thought Oakland, that as my number 1. I think my number 2 and my number 3 are right here. The roof is open. The roof is open in Arizona. Caleb Smith is making his first start back from COVID, and then he got traded in the middle of that. So he came down with the virus when all the Marlins got it, and then they traded him in the Starling Marte trade. And we've seen the pitchers coming back from that, their first start, they've been getting shelled. I don't know if it's a stamina issue or just an issue of not having faced major league hitters. But the other thing is Caleb Smith is an extreme fly ball pitcher. He gives up the highest percentage of fly balls of any pitcher on the slate. It's going to be 93 degrees in Arizona. The roof's going to be open. And you've got a bunch of right-handed hitters that I really like in this projected Seattle lineup. On the other side, I think you're all going to be disappointed with Kikuchi. I think he's not going to last past the 4th inning. And we've seen this out of this kid. He'll throw a great game just like he did against Texas. The first game of the season that he threw against Oakland, where he pitched a really good game, everybody went back to him. He was 25% owned, and he got absolutely destroyed. And this is on the road. And I know people are going to say, oh, Arizona sucks, but I'm going to tell you that Kikuchi is going to get wiped tonight.
Woo! Kikuchi's getting wiped tonight. Titletown. Did you hear that? That is a wonderful statement. I like conviction. Are you with him or against him?
No, when I saw him, I mean, I'm more of a cash player, but I still obviously look at the whole slate because I sometimes like tourneys and might play a couple, especially like today, because if Kikuchi is going to be popular, when I looked at the slate, I was like, wow, Seattle and Arizona, late night hammer, game stack could win you all the money if Coors does bad. This is my second favorite spot, game stack wise, if Coors doesn't do well. And that's where JT's talking, leaving money on the table might win it all. Because if Coors does bad, these bats aren't expensive. You can play the top two pitchers, the top of the order on both teams, and still have money left. That's okay. That just pricing doesn't think Seattle and Arizona will be the highest or score the most runs on the slate. If they do, leaving money on the table will win you GPPs. So I like that. I'm not going to dive too much into it because it's more of a GPP play. I agree with what JT said, and I like both teams. I favor the Mariners a little bit. But, I mean, if Kikuchi is going to be 30% or something like that, you have to be very overweight on the Diamondbacks.
So I just want to, because I know there are a lot of people in chat and even a couple of people in Discord, hit me up and said, hey, what do you think of Kikuchi? And so I just want to say again, 091 batted ball in play average over his last two starts. You are insane if you think that's going to continue. That is the same number that I know Dustin May got hurt. It's close to the number that Kershaw had in this same matchup. In a matchup he's dominated because he was getting lucky his last couple of starts. Kikuchi, I mean, there's not much, else to say about it, except I just think it's the wrong play tonight.
Okay. Really good. I like that. I like the conviction. That's all I need to hear. You might be wrong, but I love your conviction. You're probably right. And then you'll also have conviction with you. Any final thoughts before we get to stacks, guys? Anything else that we're looking at tonight? Title, JT, anything? Or do we just talk stacks?
I think we covered most of it.
Yeah, and I feel like I know what your stacks are, right? JT, you love Arizona, Seattle. Give me your number one stack, and let's get the title.
Yeah, it's going to be Oakland up top for me. Number two is going to be Seattle, and number three is I'll probably mini stack Arizona. The bottom of the lineup isn't very good, but it doesn't change what I expect to happen here, which is, Kikuchi's going to walk a couple of guys, give up a bomb, walk a couple more, give up another base hit. So I like the top of this Arizona lineup. Christian Walker at 3-7, Nick Ahmed in the 2-hole. I love playing Nick Ahmed in the 2-hole against lefties. I mean, everybody said, oh, Kettle Marte. Yeah, Kettle Marte is a big piece of this lineup that's missing, but Nick Ahmed, it's a shame they keep him down in the 7-8 hole because I think he's more talented than that.
All right, very good. How about you, Title? If you're playing GPPs tonight, give me besides for cores, what do you got?
I got Milwaukee, number 1, Oakland, number 2, and then it's Seattle and then the Arizona game stack for number 3.
Gosh, should we be targeting the over then in that Arizona game?
I like the over, but I've also seen that it hasn't moved yet. But, I mean, the juice has moved a little bit. Some sharp money was on the over. I like the over. I do.
Yeah, I would, because both of these bullpens. So you're going to get at least 6 innings of the Arizona bullpen, right?
Yeah.
You know that Caleb Smith is probably not going 3. If he goes 4, it's a lot. Quite frankly, that bullpen they traded many people away hasn't been very good. Seattle was a little bit better over the last couple of games, but both of these are giving up more than 1.5 home runs per 9. Roof open, fly ball pitchers. Hot weather. I love it.
All right. Good. One-offs, home runs, either one you want. Free money Freddie for me. He's going deep again. Love free money Freddie.
Christian Yelich, double dong against Leicester.
JT.
Matt Olson and Nick Ahmed.
God, that Oakland offense just get me all excited. Getting all hot and bothered. I don't know what that was. NBA? You want to go over some NBA?
Yeah. So I'll touch on
to our people. You got the stage, Title.
All right, so I definitely go over to Run Pure Sports, check out the core plays and stuff too. I'll be playing, but so we'll start with the first game. The best 2 words in sports, Game 7. Wow, this one's gonna be fun between the Raptors and the Celtics. I expect a very competitive game. On DraftKings, I'm looking at on the Boston side, Kemba, Thies. Those 2 are really too cheap. I like Marcus Smart a lot too. They've been playing monster minutes. That's why I'm going to be overweight on this game because both teams are just playing. They're running their starters out 40-plus minutes. I'm not worried about a blowout. So Jaylen Brown is also one of my favorites. So Kemba, Jaylen Brown, Theis are my favorites. You can also play Smart. He's priced up a little bit, or he's priced up a lot of it, 6.8K, but he's good. He's a good tournament play. On the other side, Norman Powell is way too cheap for the load. He's getting at 4.4K. Looking at him a lot. Kyle Lowry, his minutes have been so safe. He's probably my favorite play on the slate just because I know exactly what I'm getting from him. Siakam hasn't been too good. It's a fade for me. He's probably going to get some ownership at 7.8K. It looks better than it is. Jaylen Brown's played him really well this playoff. So I'm going to be mainly focused on Lowry, Norman Powell, and then I like Van Vliet as well. If you want to go the onslaught of guards, you can get the assists to the threes, and they correlate well. They're going to play tons of minutes. So I like this game a lot. Going to the other game, Jokic at top, that's a big decision you're going to have to make. I'm finding myself not wanting to go that route. I like Zubac a lot more. We finally saw him get about 28 minutes last game. They just he needs to play more. His plus minus is very good. He makes a big difference. He has the best chance against Jokic. I like Zubac a lot on both sites. The other one's Paul George. He was in foul trouble, hardly played. People are going to game log. They're going to watch their game log watch and be like, oh, Paul George is off or what happened? He was in foul trouble. He didn't play a lot of minutes, and Kawhi was absolutely on fire. I like going right back to Paul George, especially on FanDuel, where you do need two shooting guards. And then Patrick Beverley is a little too cheap, 3.8K. If you want to go the stars and scrubs build, get Kawhi. I don't blame you for getting the best player in the world. So if you want to get the Kawhi route, you're going to need Patrick Beverley and some other value. And then the other two I'll mention, Jeremy Grant, Michael Porter. I hope we never know how many minutes Michael Porter is going to get. If I knew he was going to get 30 minutes, he's a great play. They need him to win the game. I'm very concerned on his comments after the game. I don't know if you saw those, but to the media, it pretty much was like, Coach, I don't know why Coach is just giving Jamal Murray and Jokic the ball. It's too predictable. They need to get others involved. And it just wasn't he's right. I agree, but it wasn't the time and the place to do it. So I hope Malone doesn't hold it against him. But he's a good play, and he can't predict that. So Grant's going to run a bunch of minutes. Porter has good usage, and those are the mid-tier values I like. That's pretty much the slate overview. We have core plays on Run Pure Sports that will be in Discord answering questions. But I like the first game. I'll be heavier on that one. It's game 7. They're going to run out their starters. Huge minutes. Should be a close game. And I like that a lot. And the Clippers could blow out the Nuggets anytime. So first game, target heavily, and the guys I mentioned for value.
Wonder what they do with Porter, too, since he kind of sounded off.
I don't know why he would say, go to your coach. He's right, but why would you say to the media, like calling out your coach and your plan pretty much going into the game?
I got guys that cover that team, and he's a pain in the ass, is what they say. And he really does. He really, before this season when he was rehabbing, he's like, I want to go to a bigger market. So, if he's not going to get playing time, it's just stupid not to play him, though, when you're down, too. It just doesn't make any sense. Guys, ladies, you only had 94 likes. You know what? You get to 104 within the next 2 minutes. I'll give you something.
We got 210 watching. That's a brutal ratio.
Yeah, that's a brutal ratio. Plus, when you extrapolate it, there's probably 800 people that have stopped in and out. So hit it, boom, boom, boom. We do have a guy in the chat here. He goes, "What is sharp money? I'm not a bettor. Sharks juice put in play." So basically, the sharp money, to say it in layman's terms, it's guys that bet a lot and usually bet a little bit more than your average jabroni, and they have the wherewithal to move the line. So basically, if you're on the Run Pure Bet site, JJ, Joey Work, all those guys, they are sharp. They're sharp money. They know what they're talking about. They put their bets in early. That's the best part about it. It's only burned me a couple of times. I'm with these guys now. Second the line comes out, boom, I'm on it. So you're kind of sharp money is setting the line for Vegas. They need sharp money to tell them where to set the line. It's as simple as that.
It's known bettors making bets, and then Vegas adjusts accordingly because they want money on the other side from the sharps because they agree with the sharps. That's all it is. You explained it very well.
All right, we got our like that I needed. And my balls is hot. Really? Is that who I just ended up on?
Hey, that's Derek Lewis. I like that. We got some MMA on tomorrow. That just reminded me. Playbook will be out tomorrow. That's a great name. He deserves all the RPS swag.
At least one shirt.
My balls is hot. You have won some pure swag.
Did you ever hear that from Derek Lewis MMA after his fight? He goes, my ball. He took off his like his shorts. He was like, my balls are hot.
That's usually something that happens after you have physical exertion title.
Well, so. you got to look up that video. The joke went right over your head, I guess. But yeah, I like that.
Fine
name.
Without it. I'll be fine. I get it, man. I'm all up to date on physiology. JT, you want to say goodbye? Have a good time. When are you leaving the beach, man? God, that looks nice.
Yeah, this is the last day, so I got to finish all the small boys, and we head out tomorrow morning back to reality. But it's certainly been fun doing the show from the ocean. Yeah,
you don't need a fake background. You literally have an awesome background over there. Are you drunk or are you just sober and sipping?
Oh, I'll be later. I'm just getting started.
Title, you want to say goodbye or anything?
Hey, winners win. We got NBA, we got MLB, we got Free Money Sunday coming up. We got some MMA tomorrow. It's gonna be a great weekend. I'm excited and I'm ready to win some money with all of you guys.
All right, good job, balls hot guy. You win. For captain, JT, Title, I'm Holden. Good luck.